Good afternoon, everyone. The topic of my speech today is designing interactive tools to communicate indigenous and non-indigenous housing research. This is the poster I made for this speech, but considering that the font is too small, you may not see it clearly. I will use PowerPoint as a visual aid for speech. The PowerPoint have already covered all the content mentioned in this poster, and it also provides more details and information about my project. I will talk about the 4 parts in the order shown in the poster. They are project aims, background, design process, and results. First is the project aims. There are 2 aims of this project. The one is design and produce a variety of interactive audio and visual products to enhance community residents interested in research on indigenous and non-indigenous health and energy consumption. The second is help residents understand and learn architectural knowledge and findings. The second part, I will introduce the background about our this project. There are 2 students involved in this project. One is a PhD student. Her research field is architecture, and the other is me. My major is interaction design. Our project is a small part of the PhD project. Our mission is to use architecture knowledge and design knowledge to understand the real healthy needs of residents and to help them learn some architecture knowledge. I will explain 2 questions. First is why do we need to communicate with residents? First reason is that buildings are the main consumer of energy. It is also one of the causes of climate change. Most of the heat and lighting in our buildings belong to fossil fuel derived energies, which is also one of the sources of greenhouse gases. So we should encourage the residents to use energy-saving projects and help them form an environmental lifestyle. The second, focusing on the gender and culture of the residents and understanding the places and lifestyle play an important role in designing the living environment. Housing design and management could lead to failure without considering the cultural needs of residents. Only by reducing the huge gap between the attitudes and value of designers and residents toward value facilities can buildings meet the expectation of occupants. The second question is why we need to use interactive tools to communicate with residents. First is that reason is that the purpose of the identification is to prevent the personal identity and the privacy of participants from being revealed. In order to encourage participation and protect the privacy of the respondents, this first kind material needs to anonymous when the research results are released in the future. According to the first pie chart, we found that most people have not received service on their health needs, which shows that these issues has not been taken seriously. And for the second bar chart, nearly 40% of people are not happy with their housing environment and conditions, which may be because that their housing needs are not fully met. And for the third bar chart, we can see that most people care more about the comfort of housing, but less concerned about environmental protection and creativity. In this page, the first pie chart shows that more than half of the respondents are only willing to spend less than 10 minutes to learn the relationship between housing structure and energy. That means we need to use no more than 10 minutes to tell them this relevant knowledge. And if we spend too long time, they will refuse to learn it. And for the next pie chart, 90% of respondents did not know much about buildings and energy. That is also maybe the reason why they not realize the importance of this problem. For the last one, pie chart, some people will give up improving the health environment because of the money and the time reasons. This may be the difficulty in reducing energy consumption, so we should try to help them change their thoughts. The third part, I will introduce the design process. After learned some knowledge about architectures, the first task I have done is infographic design. I used Adobe Illustrator. I designed infographics for different people, different family types, and household appliances. These infographics are used as part of data analysis and reporting the results. At beginning, I designed two styles of infographics for different people. The style one has more details, and the second style is minimalist style. Considering ethics in graphic design, especially the racism, we decided to use the second style. After trying lots of colors, we plan to use warm colors to represent women and cold colors to represent men. The transition from light to dark indicates the age from the young to old. We also use the same style to create infographics for household appliances. Next is the house plan. I also did it use Adobe Illustrator. After visiting residents' house, and I make housing models based on the architect's hand-drawn drawings. It is used to display and analyze the housing structures and housing conditions of the residents. I also designed two styles. The first one is 2D top view, and the second is 3D side view. Considering that the 2D top view is difficult to recognize, and the furniture in the 3D side view will be blocked by walls, so we choose to use 3D top view to restore the housing structures. This is just one example of a housing. After that, I did the identification data. In this part, I works on the create maps and house address. Then in this year, we have changed our plan. Due to the impact of isolation policy and coronavirus-19, the PhD programs has not determined what to promote to the residents. The original plan is to produce a report and a website for the architecture findings, but now we just change the plan. We just make the prototype. For the report prototype design, I used Adobe InDesign to do this. According to the number of the pictures and the text that may be included on the page, design different layout methods according to people's reading habits. For the website prototype design, we can see the pie chart shows that most people prefer to learn knowledge by watch videos. Some of them prefer to learn it by images and text explanation. Only one person chooses to reading text materials. So, in order to provide people with more convenient ways to learn the relevant knowledge, so we provide a video material, text description of this project, and a link on this website. For the website design process, first I designed the personas, and then I made paper prototype and got user feedback. According to the feedback, I improved the website and make a digital prototype. Here's just one example of the website I designed. And in the last part, I will introduce the results. For the first part, I will introduce what I have done so far. First, a complete design infographics for different people, household appliances, different house plans, and I also did the identification data to protect the residents' privacy. And recently, I completed the prototype for report and the website. In the near future, according to the actual content of the PhD projects, I will adjust and produce the report and the website. Then purchase a domain name and publish the website to encourage the residents to learn related knowledge online. Thank you very much.